All right. Started. Thought the second half we started playing with a little energy. Kind of been focused on that all week, just as far as getting guys out there that play. And are positive with their body language, positive with their energy. Thought we improved on that. Still got a long ways to go, but accomplished what we wanted to. As far as all three sides of the ball, we got a lot of snaps. And we showed improvements. We'll obviously look at the film and continue to get better. So with that, take some questions.
Dan, I guess the obvious one. What do you think of Ford?
Oh, pretty good for his first game he's ever played college football. I think what I look for some different things than what you guys look for. I mean, the completion percentage and yards and all that stuff I really don't pay much attention to. I thought his body language was good. I thought he handled the huddle pretty good. Coming to the sidelines, he was communicative. Whether it's O-line, running backs, receivers, me, Shannon. I thought he did a good job of just being in the game. And that's what we're looking for, because if you got a guy like that can handle those situations and understand the game of football and understand what's going on out there, then you can get to the sidelines and you can bring a lot of other guys along with you. Still not happy with our tempo, and that's I got on him a little bit in the fourth quarter about that. He's and a lot of it's me as far as how we coach it, coaches as far as how we coach the tempo, but he's got to help us with that when he's out there. He's got to move people along, get guys lined up, get it communicated, and snap it. So we still got a ways to go with tempo. That's it.
Dan, how much has all the defensive injuries and personnel and position shuffling affected what you were able to do?
Oh, I don't think a whole lot. Noble's been dinged up. He's a backup. He's not taking many snaps. We obviously want him to take a bunch of snaps. Isaiah Bruce is a guy that we're obviously leaning on. He just didn't feel very good today, so we wanted to go ahead and rest him. And that allowed Kinsey to get a lot more reps at the outside backer spot. Marvin Gross to get some reps at the outside backer spot. KJ Dillon being down. Thought Darrell Worley stepped up and played well. Injuries are a part of the game. I just sat there and told the team that, you got to understand what your role is, and you got to be excited about what the role is. If you're not happy about what your role is, then change it. If you can't change it, then you need to accept it, or you need to go do something else. With that said, injuries are going to happen. Whatever if you're a second team guy, then you need to be ready to get in there at any point and be productive. I pat Ford on the back for that, because that's what he did for 2 games. He knew he was number 3. He kept his head in it. He worked hard, and then when we called his number, he took advantage of the opportunity that was given to him. So we need a whole team full of people that are like that. You got to have the next guy ready, and when it's your turn to step up and get in there and play, you better be able to do it.
And what's the extra thing that Kwiatkowski has that other guys lack? That allows him to do what he's doing.
He's developing. He's only a redshirt sophomore, so he's pretty young and he's developing. He's as healthy as he's ever been. He's a smart guy. He's allowing himself to be coached. He's worked his body into phenomenal shape. There's a mental aspect to the game of football that you got to understand, and he right now really understands it. So I know Keith has been very happy with him. He had 8 tackles tonight. It's pretty good, forced to fumble. But he's been playing like that for going on 3 games now.
How about DeKeel rebounding from last game and 2 touchdowns in this one?
Yeah, he did good. Made a couple of big catches across the middle. Was excited about him getting lit up like that and jumping right back up and playing football. So, he's been a good player for us. He's been pretty consistent. He had a bad game last week. He knew it. He didn't pout. We named Mario the starter, and he didn't pout about it. He worked hard, and he got himself in position to be able to play. KJ Myers was the same way. We tried putting Kevin White in front of him as a starter. He didn't sit there and pout about it. He worked his butt off, and then when he got the opportunity to get in there, he made a bunch of good third down catches. So I was proud of the way he responded as well. Ivan went in there and made a couple of plays. So I made mention of that on Tuesday. Just because we named a couple other guys starters doesn't mean that those other guys aren't going to play. Takes more than 22 to play.
At what point this last week did you land on Ford as your starter?
You know, we gave him 50. Him and Clint, we gave 50% of the reps on Tuesday and Wednesday, and in my eyes, the job was won. You know, so Thursday we gave him all the reps.
Safe to say it's his job going forward.
You know, if it's not, then I'm not very smart. We just gave him 100% of the reps. You know, so he's a redshirt freshman. He's got a lot of potential, and you know, he played well, and he'll keep getting better and better.
What is he?
Again, I liked his mentality more than anything. That gives me a starting. We all know he's got some talent. He's big and he's all that, but I need the mentality to be good, and I really liked his mentality.
Can you expand on that a little bit? What about his mentality that you like?
He's poised. You know, he poised when I talk to him. It doesn't matter how I talk to him. You know, if I'm being nice to him or if I'm being, you know, mean to him or whatever it is. I mean, he doesn't let emotion get in the middle of that. and I saw that last week on the sidelines when things were tight and it was a high pressure situation. You know, he was the one that I saw being poised and being calm. There's going to be growing pains. He's going to make mistakes. Everybody does.
Dana, that sounds like stuff you said about Clint earlier, and then Paul maybe more recently. You can get better throwing and reading, but is that what maybe just took longer for Ford only because of really lack of experience out there?
Maturity.
Yeah,
maturity. He wasn't. You know, he was in redshirt mode. You know, his first year and a half, he was in redshirt mode. You know, and I think you know, which you can't just snap your fingers and get out of that. You know, so I think when we said you sit back and watch, I think he sat back and watched, and in his mind he was like, dang, I could be playing right now. You know, and he sat on the sidelines. He says, I can do that, or I would have done this. And I think that's what he did, and he convinced himself that it was kind of his time to play, and he got out there and he played well. Got a long ways to go, and I expect him to continue to get better.
Dana, aside from winning the game, and what were you hoping to see from your team in this game? And as you sit here now, how would you say that came out?
Just execution, much more than anything. I mean, just guys executing what their job is. You know, to be vague with it, we wanted to get better on all three sides of the ball. Well, what do you mean? Well, you know, we wanted to give them assignments, and we wanted them to execute their assignments. You know, I think we were smarter this week than last week. You know, we had 4 penalties. You know, a couple of them were questionable, but you know, the penalties went down, the turnovers went down. I think the assignments, I think, went down. You got to study the tape and see how they graded out in order to really understand it. But just take snaps, a bunch of snaps, just keep playing. Hopefully executing what we're asking them to do a little higher rate than last week.
Dana, you mentioned you don't pay as much attention to Ford's completion percentage as maybe some of us. He had quite a few drop passes too from receivers. Are you starting to identify guys you can trust on, or is that still frustrating because it's happening everywhere?
Yeah, it's still frustrating. I mean, you don't. You know, we'll look at all those stats as we grade the film. You know, tonight, tomorrow, and all that. You know, we're identifying guys we can trust and guys we can't trust. We're identifying guys that understand their role and guys that don't understand their role. We'll probably continue to do that over the course of the next 8 weeks.
Ford went downfield quite a few times today. Was that a product of what you were seeing on the field, or is that something he does particularly well?
Well, it was a little bit of an emphasis. You know, and again, it's all about what they do. I mean, they were stacking the box pretty good. They wanted to take away the run. They were, you know, playing off a little bit. So you know, it was the right thing to do in specific situations, but it's something that we have to be able to do. We got to complete the ball downfield. I mean, it opens up a lot of other stuff if we do so.
All right, thanks, Coach.
You got it. Appreciate it, guys.